Hello, I'm Carol Smith. Welcome to View and Do VideoCraft Classroom number 23, Kids Wearables. We've selected some projects that your children will love to paint and wear. A hand-painted t-shirt in bright neon colors, a birthday cake dress that the child could paint, or perhaps the parent would want to paint it and give it as a birthday gift. And we have another fun shirt that's so easy and looks great. Today we're going to be using the Fashion Show dimensional and soft paints that are water-based and non-toxic, so they're great for kids. Be sure that the children are wearing painting clothes because the colors are definitely permanent. You'll want to be sure and pick up the Kids Make It and Wear It Superbook with all the step-by-step instructions. Now, we're ready to begin our first project. Okay, we're ready to begin our first project, and I'd like for you to meet my friend, Stephanie Powell, and she's going to help me with our shirt. Stephanie, did you make this shirt? You did, didn't you? It looks beautiful. Are you going to be able to show me how to do that? Mm-hmm. Okay, what color do we want to do first?
Green.
The hot green. Let's use the hot green. Now, these are Fashion Show soft paints, and we're using the colors from the neon fabric painting set. Now, these are available in a set, or you can buy them individually. And what do we do first? Put the green into the plate. How much do we put? Let's put, is that enough? Mm-hmm. Okay, now what do we do?
Rub it around.
Okay, let's put your hand in there. We're going to rub it around. Now, Stephanie told me that we want to make sure, now let's look and see how much you have on your hand. You want to make sure that your hand is covered all over. Do you need to press it down a little harder? Is that enough?
You have to get it all over.
Okay, let's make our first print. Now, where do you want to put the first one? Let me move the plate. Okay, let's put it on there. Mash down good. Okay. Now, of course, you can see that you'll want to make sure that your children are wearing their painting clothes. Stephanie's shirt already has paint all over it anyway, and just these matching colors. So we don't have to worry, do we? But at home, they'd need to worry. Okay, so let's do it again and put another one. Okay, do we need more paint? That's probably enough for that one, but I'll put some more while you're painting that one. Okay. How many we're going to put, Stephanie?
4.
4, okay. One more. Put another one on. Now you want to kind of turn your hand different directions, don't you? We can turn the shirt too. Okay, let's put it, where are you going to put it? Whoops. Whoa, yeah, let's put it back there. We got a little bit on there. Good. Okay, now one more. Boy, I wish I was doing this. This looks like fun. Now, where are you going to put this one? You are so good at spacing them out, Stephanie. Look how nice. Okay. Now, we've got our shirt on a shirt board, and we've put plastic on it to keep the paint from going through. Now, Stephanie has a bucket of water here. Put your hand down in there, and we're just going to wash the green paint off. And I've got paper towels here to dry it off. You ready? Let me see. Stephanie, let me see your hand. Okay. Oh, you did a good job. Now let's just dry them off. There's your paper towel. You can dry it, and we'll get the next color. Now what color are we going to use?
Blue.
Okay. We'll squirt out some of the blue. Okay.
I want to use this hand.
Well, okay. That's a great idea. We want to have Mr. Left Hand too, don't we? Okay, get it all over your hand.
And it's shiny kind of blue.
Oh, it's pretty paint. Okay, where are we going to put this one? Looks good. Is that enough? Oh, getting a little bit into the middle so it doesn't leave a hole on your shirt. Good. Okay, let's put this one on. There, good, good place. Okay, do we need more? Okay. Oh, that was a good print. Looky there. It looks all marbly, doesn't it? Okay, where you want to put this one? Good. And then you know what? Do we want to put one out on the sleeve? You might could put one right here.
I'm going to use this hand now.
Okay. Okay, you need to scoot it towards you a little bit. Okay, put it on there. Oh, that's a good location. In fact, that's good. Do you want to just do the blue ones there, 3 blue ones? Yeah. Let's do. Wash up. Let's go on to our next color. Okay, now I've got some pink paint all waiting for you, Stephanie. Okay, turn your hands around. There's your towel. You dry them off, and we'll be ready for the next color. Stephanie told me that pink is her favorite and she wanted to save it till last.
I was about to put that right here.
Oh, don't put it in the water. We'd get it wet. Okay, let's do this one. Which hand are you going to use? Which hand is that? Do you know?
Right.
Oh, you are so smart. You're right. That's your right hand. How old are you, Stephanie?
5.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, where are you going to put that one? Good. Oh, pretty. Look at those 2 colors together. Aren't those pretty? Okay.
Blue color.
Yeah, it overlapped it a little bit and kind of made it look purple, didn't it? Okay. Now you put another one and I'll put a little more paint in here. Okay. Oh, that's pretty. Now I think we need 2 pink ones, one on each sleeve. What do you think?
Going to do both hands.
Oh, that's a good idea. Because we didn't have any on the left hand. We need to do that. Okay, let's put the left one over here and the right one over there. Would that be fun? Now you want to put one up here? Right here. Wait, let's do one more. Let's do one on this sleeve so they kind of match. Do one right there.
I need to get some more
Okay,
paint.
you're right. Let's do. Oh, we've done the left hand. There, let's just do the right one right there. Oh, that looks good. Wait a minute, let's look and see how it looks. We might want to put a little more. Nope, I think that's perfect. Okay, let's wash our hands. Now, we're just going to let the paint on our shirt air dry for 24 hours and then be sure and read the directions for heat setting. You want to heat set the paint so it'll be permanent and read the directions on the label. And now, I guess we're ready for the next step. Now, Stephanie, we're ready for the next step, and we've let our shirt dry 24 hours, and we've heat set it so the colors will be permanent, and we're ready to do the next step, which is outlining. That'll be fun. We're going to use the Fashion Show dimensional paints in 3 colors, the hot blue, the hot pink, and the hot green. And Stephanie's going to help me first trace some handprints on there. And we're going to use your hand and the disappearing pen. Now, we've already done 2. And where do we want to put a 3rd one, Stephanie?
Right here.
Okay, you put your hand on there and I'm going to trace around it. Does that feel funny? Does that make your hands tickle? Mm-hmm. Okay, we've got that traced on. Now, you can move your hand. What a good pattern that makes. And now we're going to use the dimensional paints, and I want to show you how to do this. Stephanie, which color do you want me to use first? The blue one. Let's do the blue. Now we want to hit it on the table so we get the paint down in the tip, and then we're going to just kind of tilt our bottle down and just pull it towards us. Stephanie, you watch me because I'm going to let you do some painting here in a minute. Now see how easy it is, because if we just hold the bottle down and then pull it towards us, it gets nice, even squirts. Sometimes we get an air bubble, but it's okay because we're kind of, there we go. See how pretty? Now we're going to start up here and we just pull it down towards us. Now I put the tip all the way down on the fabric so that we get excellent adhesion. Go around that thumb there. Whoops. Just press it down again. And we finish out your little wrist there. And now let's do, how about a green? Okay, we're going to do a green one up here.
And then a pink one.
Yeah, we'll do the pink one in a minute. Whoops, that one touched, didn't it? Here goes the thumb. We'll come back up here and smooth that one in. Now we don't have much time, so I'm doing this for Stephanie, but if your child at home wants to do their own outlining, we're going to let her do some dots, but I'm going to do the hands. Isn't that pretty paint, Stephanie?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty and shiny. Now, I want to press these down again. Well, first let's do the dots. Did your mother put those around the neck? That's awfully pretty. Show them how pretty that looks around the neck. So let's just put some dots up here, and we'll just hold the bottle straight up and just sort of pile the paint up. And let's put some green ones next to the pink ones. Do you like that? And then some blue ones.
What did that?
How about that? Does that even it up? Now I'm going to shake the paint down and let you put on some, and I'll put on some. Would that be fun? Just squeeze.
I wanted to do the pink one.
Well, okay. I'm easy. There you go. I'll do some blue ones and you do some pink ones. And we can make confetti on our shirt. We'll just kind of put them all over. Oh, good. Good. And I'll do some green ones.
We need to put a white there.
Okay. Looks good to me. We can put them on the hands. I was leaving them off the hands, but that's a good idea. Okay.
I'm going to put one on the green one.
Go right ahead. That looks good. Okay, do you think that's enough? Oh, that was a little swirly one. That's pretty. Now, what we're going to do, Stephanie, is we're going to let it dry. We're going to let it dry until tomorrow, and then you could wear it to play school if you wanted to. But before you wash it, you want to make sure that you wait 72 hours before you launder it, and then follow the laundering directions on the label. Stephanie, I want to thank you for being my helper today. You were wonderful. That shirt is all dry, isn't it? And you've already worn it. Okay, that looks great. Now we're ready for our next project.
I want to show Mommy my dots.
Our next project is a rainbow chain sweatshirt, and it's also using our fashion show neon colors, and we're just going to take and squeeze some of them out. Now, one thing we're doing is using a palette, and you want to leave enough room between the colors, we're using the hot blue. This is the bright purple. So I'm going to put three little puddles down each side. This is the hot green. The hot magenta. The orange yellow. And the hot yellow. Now you can use anything that you want to make the rings, but we're using styrofoam cups, and we're just going to take and put the cup in the puddle and just twirl it around. And we'll make the first, I think I missed it there, we'll twirl it around. Make sure you have paint on the entire bottom of it and make your first ring. Now you can start the chain anywhere you want to. We're going to start up on our right shoulder and we just press it down. This is so easy. We want to make sure that it printed all the way around. Then we can just leave that cup in there. Let's do our bright purple. Now let's overlap them a little bit. And the next cup. You want to be sure that you get paint over the entire bottom, and you just check it each time. Now you can go down the sleeve with these. You can really just be free with your design. Also, you would get a different look if you used a different size round object. Now you want to keep the colors in sequence, and let's start with the green again. Now that we've got to the edge, let's turn and go back this way. You want to make sure that you get the edge of your cup in your puddle. There's plenty of paint there. I just was sort of missing it with some of my colors when I would turn it. So you reload the cup each time. This large cup really does go fast. And let's do one more. Now, nothing could be much easier than that. You may want to put another row going across the other direction or one down the sleeve. You can even fold the sleeve over and put one on the back. That's all there is to it. We just let it dry for 24 hours and then heat set it according to the directions on the label, and it's ready to wear. Our next project is the birthday cake dress, and we're taking the pattern from the Kids Make It and Wear It Superbook, and you just pull the pattern from the inside of the book and cut it out. You want to cut away all the portion that you're not going to trace. And I've reduced my pattern a little bit because my dress is small, and I'm going to use a disappearing pen. That means that the ink disappears, not the pen. And we're going to trace it on, and we're using the blue. Now you don't have to put on all the lines because some of the dots and things you're just going to freehand those anyway. So that makes the tracing go real fast. Now I can see through my dress to my pattern, but if I were working on a sweatshirt or a garment that was opaque, we could use transfer paper and just put the pattern on top, put the transfer paper on it, and trace it on with a pencil. But I can see mine quite easily through this pink dress. Now one tip I will give you is don't trace the bottom of the candles. Just trace those down into the icing. Don't go through them, because sometimes the blue line will show. And if you'll hold your left hand down close to where you're tracing and then not put much pressure on your pen, you'll have better results. You don't want to move your fabric around a lot when you're tracing on, or you'll make your line crooked. Now you want to keep tracing, and you especially want to do these curlicues out on the side so you'll know where to place those. Of course, tracing it is an easy step. You've done it since you were a kid, so I'm just going to let you finish that part. I'm going to finish tracing mine on, and then we'll be ready for the next step. Our next step is to do the fabric soft paint, and we're using 3 colors, the raspberry sparkle, the rose pearl, and the amethyst jewel. And we're just going to start and put out a pool of each one. We'll just start with the amethyst jewel first. Now I'm going to use a little bigger brush. This is a number 10 shader because then I can cover it more quickly. Now because my dress is pink, I'm going to want more hiding power, so I'm not going to mix any colors or use any extender so that I get a really nice rich pearl look. The Folk Art fabric brushes have white bristles, and they're a little stiffer, so they work the paint into the fabric. And the flat brush enables you to cover much more quickly. A round brush is too slow. Now you want to be sure that you work the paint down into the fibers. Don't just paint on the fuzz. Fleece is very fuzzy. So you want to apply a little pressure when you're painting. Need a little more paint. Now we'll switch to the rose pearl and do the icing. I'm using a number 8 shader for this because I want to be a little more careful up around the candles. I'm using a little smaller brush. But if you don't have but one brush, it will be you can just wash it and use it for the next color. You don't have to have a separate brush for each color. Now we're going to do outlining, so when we're outlining we don't have to be quite as careful with our painting. We're just basically base painting here, and then we're going to outline. Now I use the wide part of my brush when I'm painting out in the open, and then I can turn it on the side when I come up between the candles. Now do not paint the candle area, because the rose pearl is a little hard to cover with the raspberry sparkle. The sparkle paint is more transparent, so do not paint the icing all the way across the cake. Leave your candles bare until we paint with the sparkle. Let's get some more paint. Now we'll fill in at the bottom the icing, and I've missed some candles here. I want to get those in a second. Now out in the open you can use the big part of your brush and go faster. And depending on the age of the child, you could let the child paint their own little dress, or you could let an older child paint one for one of their little sisters. I think that would be a good idea, and they would enjoy that. It helps them get ready for the party. Okay, now I'm going to use a little smaller brush for my raspberry sparkle and paint the candles. However, I could turn that brush on the side and use the same brush I was using. This one is a number 6. It's a good size for the candles. You want to float your brush a little more when painting with the sparkle, because the sparkle is in the paint, and you want to give a good even coverage. If you brush too much with sparkle paint, then you'll brush sparkle off of some of the areas. But it's heavily loaded with sparkle, but you just want to, if you lay your brush down like this on the side a little bit, you'll float more, leave more sparkle on top. Now this part is easy. I'll let you finish the candles, and then after we've completely painted all of the fashion soft paint, we're going to let it dry for 24 hours. Then we want to heat set the soft paint and read the instructions on the back of the label. We'll be heat pressing from the back side with a press cloth, and we use the setting that's appropriate for the fabric. We want to do the heat setting before we go on to the next step, which is outlining. Now we're ready to do our next step, which is outlining, and this is the part that you will want to do as an adult for your child. We're going to make a hole in the bottle, and we're going to use a lighter and a paper clip. And we're just going to heat the tip of the paper clip. We'll just get it nice and warm, and then just stick it into the bottle, into the nozzle. Now what this does is it makes a nice round hole. Now we want to let some of the paint come out, just to make sure that our hole is all the way through. And we're ready to go on. Now the first thing we're going to do is outline the bottom part of the cake with the amethyst jewel paint. And I hold the bottle almost down flat or at an angle, for about a 45 degree angle away from the shirt. And we just use the nozzle, slide it on the fabric so that you get good adhesion. And we're going to outline the whole bottom of the cake. Now there's a blue line sticking out there, but it's going to disappear because this is a disappearing pen. Now we want to do the pink part around the icing, and for that we're going to do something special. Now I've already made a hole in this bottle, but we have got some little areas to go around here, and we're going to use this to do the curls on the candles. So I want to make a tape tip or a fine line tip. And the way I'm going to do that is to use 3/4 inch cellophane tape, and I'm going to tear off about a 4-inch strip. Now I'm going to put it on my bottle, hold the tape straight up like this so that it's pointing up like straight up 12 o'clock, and we put it about 1/4 inch up from the bottom, not all the way down to the base of the nozzle, and we press it down with my thumb. Now I want to begin turning the bottle in my left hand, and I'm adhering it with my 2 fingers, and as I make that first turn I'm squeezing it up at the tip, up at the top, and then I'm supporting this cone as I turn it in my left hand so that we get a nice tight cone in here. This is very important for the tape tip to be firm. Now we keep rolling it, as you can see, it reverse directions on its own, and we bring it on down, and this little part here is the pull-off tab. We just push that down. Now if you're working with a young child, you might want to make the tape tip for them. And you can also adjust the amount of paint that comes out just by clipping it a little bit if it's a little bit too small. So let's try this one. You just want to shake the paint down into the tip, and let's try and see. And that's about what we want. So now let's just outline our icing. And you always want to keep the tip down on the fabric for good adhesion. Now this gives me maximum control because when I get up with the candles, I'm going to want a real fine line. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the lines between the candles first. Then I just want to wrap little curls around each one. Four or 5 fits nicely. You might want to alter your pattern before you do this design and make it the age that the child is going to be. All you have to do is just not outline the extra candles, and carry the icing on across. Now we've got the curls on our candles. We want to shake our paint down again, and let's just make some swirls on the icing. Now we can see our blue lines under there, or blue dots. Those are going to be our confetti. So we want to come along the bottom of the candles to kind of have an ending for those. And put a few more swirls in our icing, because this is a foamy icing. Now that's what we're going to do with our pink. Let's put our confetti on first. And we're going to use the yellow. We're just going to put some dots on. Now I don't want a fine line on this, so I'm just using it straight from the bottle. And some green. I already have a tape tip on this, so I'll just squeeze out a big glob. And some amethyst jewel paint. And some rose shimmer. Now we want to put the tops on our candles, and we're going to use the champagne pearl paint. Now I put a tape tip on this because we want to draw these on a little bit. We want them to have a point on them so they look like a flame. Now with a little bit of practice, kids can have a lot of fun with dimensional paint. It is non-toxic and water-based, but you'll want to be sure that they wear their painting clothes when they're doing any kind of fabric painting, because our fabric paints are permanent, so that they won't wash out of the clothes, of course. Now, whoops, forgot one of the centers of my flames there. Okay, now let's outline party first before I do the confetti around the edge. I'll do it with white. Now I'm using a big bead on this because I want party to really show up. And this is the shiny white paint. You may want to adjust your colors a little bit. We're working on a pink shirt, but if you were working on a white shirt, you would want to use a color for this. I'm leaving holes for my yellow. We'll come back with this. This is the shiny bright yellow. And we don't put a tape tip on this because we want a nice big bead. We just mound it up. Now we can do our confetti and our streamers around the side. Let's start and do the pink for these. Let's take we want a little bigger bead on this, so let's take the tape tip off. That's the nice thing about the tape tips is you can go back and forth and have big beads or small ones, whichever fits your needs. Now the paint is whiter when it's wet. When it's dry, that will be a pearl color. Now let's use the blue, a pink pearl. Let's use the blue, and this is the blue pearl. Now any blue lines that are still on here are visible, of course, will come out when it's washed. Or you can wet them with just a moist cloth. Okay, now we want to do our green confetti. And the last thing is we'll use some rose shimmer and put some dots on it. Just randomly placed, they're not traced on. And that's it. That's all there is to it. You want to be sure and let it dry at least 72 hours before you launder it. And then be sure and turn it inside out, wash it in cool water, and use a gentle cycle in your dryer. It's a lovely project. Some little girl would be excited to get that for her birthday, or it's a lot of fun for her to make and wear on her birthday. Now be sure to pick up the Kids Make It and Wear It. There are lots of ideas in there and step-by-step instructions. I've really enjoyed being with you today. There's lots of ideas and a lot of ways that you and your children can have fun painting it and wearing it.